Filoni, why do you gotta keep teasing me, man? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Star Wars The Clone Wars review. We're talking Season 7, Episode 7. Full spoilers, of course, and if you guys are new here and the Force might be with you, or in general, if you just love The Clone Wars as well, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on content like this on a weekly basis, or in general, just when I talk Star Wars, because I love talking Star Wars over here. Ahsoka is one of my main favorite characters, and we're continuing with this arc once again. So far within this arc, if you haven't watched my other two reviews, do understand I love the whole Bad Batch stuff. I'm a major fan of the Clone Wars. It's my favorite era. And in general, this week's episode, this is kind of the do or die for me in this arc, because the first episode I liked, but I thought it was just fine. The second one I kind of still felt the same, but it was getting a little bit better. This one I really liked. This one, in fact, is the best of this arc so far. I think this is the one that I really wanted to see, but it felt, again, just like a giant tease. You get a little bit of a tease with the Mandalorians, kind of recognizing Ahsoka. You get them escaping and then them getting caught once again right at the end. Of course, I'm thinking we're going to assume that the Mandalorians are going to assist her and help her out, get away from the Pikes and all that sorts of stuff. That's kind of my big theory for next week's, of course. And with that said, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' theory is as well. Honestly, that is my favorite thing to see every single week, is to read the comments, see what your guys' thoughts are on what this episode, but in general, what your theories are for next week, and really where that could lead to. The way that I kind of see this is Ahsoka, and this kind of started garnering back her powers. Really started using the Force a little bit more, which was just like, every time she used it, I'm like, hot damn, yes! And easily, like, one of my favorite things throughout this episode is actually the score and the certain intertwined moments that it has throughout the whole thing. Not just with the Force, but in general, the whole entire time. And it was kind of the strongest use of the score so far in this season that really, like, stuck out to me the most, and I loved it. But anytime Ahsoka used the Force, I was just, like, all giddy and excited, and I just can't wait till she gets her two lightsabers back in her hands and just starts throwing it down. I'm just so giddy for that. But this episode, it made me like this arc a little bit more. And actually, the thing that made me like this episode some more was Trace and Raffi. I mean, Trace for once finally did something. She knocked a Pike out of the way, grabbed the gun, and started shooting. I was like, yes! Finally, you did something. And same thing with the, these aren't my favorite, the Martez brothers, sisters, whatever the hell you want to call them. I haven't really liked them. I like aspects of them. They do feel very Star Wars-ish, but this was the most that I started to like them finally. Especially when they start telling the story about the Jedi. That's one of the most intriguing parts of any Star Wars lore, is when people talk about the Jedi, the Sith, and their thoughts on them. Because, we might think the Jedi are helping people, but in general, to other people's eyes, they are not. And I actually liked seeing the Martez's sister's background. I think that actually added a lot more depth that I needed to know about them, and really how they got themselves here. And I actually have a feeling by the time their story ends within the Star Wars saga, or the Star Wars The Clone Wars final season, I think I'm going to actually have really appreciated them. I'm assuming next week they're finally going to find out that Ahsoka was a Jedi. I'm assuming that the Mandalorians are probably going to come in, save them all, and it's going to all come out to be. And I think that's where Ahsoka is going to come to play inside the Siege of Mandalore, which, God, I'm just, like, so excited. Like, that arc, I'm not joking. Like, I know that's, like, 2 more weeks away from when it starts, but that arc has to be, like, literally one of the best arcs of any Clone Wars. Like, I'm anticipating that. I cannot wait. But Dave Filoni just keeps on teasing me. 24 minutes each week is not enough for Star Wars, and I think we can definitely all admit that the same thing. It was my biggest complaint with The Mandalorian. It's definitely my biggest complaint with the Clone Wars. I know they've always been this length, but still, I just need my Star Wars fix, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling the same as well. But again, I actually really like this episode. I like the dynamics between the sisters. Finally, love that background history of them. I love how Ahsoka started finally using the Force. The Mandalorians got a little bit of a tease with them. The second I saw her turn around with the mask, I was like, hot damn, we got a Mandalorian right here. Again, I'm a giant Star Wars fan. I just get so giddy when it comes to any of this, and the Clone Wars is seriously my favorite era. I think this animation series has been such a wonderful light of embracement from Star Wars fans, and there's been okay episodes here and there, but overall the whole show has made me excited, and this is the episode that finally got me excited back again to just say, yes, Thank you. This is what I've wanted. Even though like the last 2 weeks were just fine and maybe I wanted a little bit more from them, I'm finally getting more from this whole saga, and I'm just so anticipating next week's episode to see where that can go. Like every week, like even though the quarantine and all this stuff is really sucking, the wait for these weeks are really making me excited. And I've already mentioned Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters. I'm so excited. She's most likely going to be in the Mandalorian season 2, which is just awesome in its own right, but I'm so excited to see how her story finishes out inside the Clone Wars. And Dave Filoni, again, you might be teasing me, man, but God, I understand. If you guys are new here again, though, make sure again to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on Star Wars content like this. And of course, if the Force is with you, the Force is with me as well, and you must hit that like and subscribe button. I hope that worked on you. Also, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your theories for next week. What do you guys think about this episode? Let's discuss it down there. Further out, though, I really like this episode. This is the one that actually got me giddy more. The last two I've kind of just been okay about, especially since I watched these at midnight the second they go up to do my review and all that stuff. I'm tired, and the last 2 weeks were a little bit snooze fest. This one actually got me invested. I was awake. I was into the energy of everything. The sisters I started to like a little bit more because of their back history, and finally, they did something. Like, they did something. Thank you. But Ahsoka really came to play in here. She's such a badass. She had some great action sequences in here, kicking some Pike ass, but also that score, man, it is so magical the way they intertwined it into here. A little bit of the tease in The Mandalorian gets me excited for next week, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts as well for next week. So thank you guys again so much for watching. So may the Force be with you all, and I'll make sure to catch you guys soon. So of course, until next time, stay classy.